Whether you're hitting the road or kicking back in the cab, it's time to take a load off with Big Rig Banter. Powered by alltruckjobs.com, your source for finding the trucking jobs drivers really want. Get ready to shift into gear and let the conversations roll.
Hello and welcome to the latest episode of Big Rig Banter, a trucking podcast designed to educate, inspire, and support truck drivers. I'm your host, Maggie and today I decided to highlight a truck driver that's trying to make a big difference in the trucking industry. His name is Anthony Swint. I heard about Anthony after he posted on a Facebook post of ours about his device called R.E.D.S, or Rear End Distance Sensor System. R.E.D.S really intrigued me. It looked like it was a great way to keep truckers safe as well as four-wheelers. So I reached out. I wanted to learn more about how this device worked and how it could potentially help truckers. After speaking with Anthony, I realized that this device is something that could really help truck drivers, so I decided to bring him on the show. Today, he's going to tell you all about his device and how it could potentially help you and save you from future accidents. Let's dive in. Hi, everybody. I have Anthony Swint here on the podcast today, and he is here to talk to us about his device called R.E.D.S. Anthony, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got involved in the trucking industry?
Well, I've been in the trucking industry since 1997 out of Michigan, Detroit, Michigan. So I've been in the trucking industry since about 23 years now. And I got my Class A CDL license, and I got my hazmat endorsement, also triples and doubles. So I've been doing this for a while.
It sounds like it. And can you tell us a little bit about the R.E.D.S device that you are on the show to talk about today?
Well, R.E.D.S is an acronym, and the acronym breaks down. R.E.D.S is the Rear End Distance Sensor System. So basically, R.E.D.S is basically a device that have a provisional patent on this device for the last 3 years. Is basically when someone come in a radius between 5 to 8 feet, it blinks. A light blinks. Two LED lights on the side that's implemented within the product. It blinks. So when it blinks, it lets the driver know that they are too close. So once they see that blink, they either go around or back off from the ranges of 5 to 8 feet, so it won't be a hazardous to them also, to let them know they're too close to a person.
So how did you kind of get involved with this? How did you come up with this idea? What was the brainchild behind it?
Well, as a trucker, when I first got into trucking, people wasn't aggressive driving, and unfortunately, I see others. We got a brotherhood in the trucking industry.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, even with truckers, it has got aggressive also. So instead of, I know we've been told growing up, I'm 51 years old, but I've been told, I remember looking at the books, driver training courses, basically to tap your brakes. But I have noticed when I do that, people get aggressive. So I'm like, man, it got to be a better way to kind of get these people to get off my back. This is crazy. And sometimes I would get anxiety just by doing this. So I would use a switch within the cab of the truck, which is connected to the trailer. And I would, flash it. And of course, the lights on the trailer will blink. And sometimes they wouldn't. And 9 times out of 10, they will back off. Or I would use my hazards, and they will back off or go around, So I was like, okay, I'm starting to like this. So I was like, man, it should be a better way. Then lo and behold, with the grace of God, this idea came to my head. I said, oh my God, this would be amazing. So at the same time, that's how I came up with the idea for this product.
And how long have you been working on this product?
For about 3.5 years.
Okay, so you've been definitely doing some promotion and things like that for it?
Yes, promotion. So trying to get in with the right hands to get into licensing, trying to get people on board. It has been a work in itself. And because some people, they look at it like, well, is this I said, no, it's not a backup camera. This is basically kind of like a modified backup camera, because some backup cameras is implemented into cars already. But we on the market, they have backup cameras you can buy at Walmart or whatever and kind of, tie it in with your car. But at the same time, I have modified the whole system. Instead of a camera, I have used a sensor. So basically, when they come within, like I said, between 5 to 8 feet, the lights within the product will illuminate and it will flash. And when they keep seeing this flashing within their eyes or near uh, the top of their car or truck, they were like, man, what is this? Well, they would basically back off. And like I said, it would go around or back off.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's one of the things that I think a lot of truck drivers deal with on a daily basis is just getting a lot of tailgaters. So I think that this is something that could potentially really help, not only, help truck drivers, but it looks like it can also be installed on just regular automobiles. Is that correct?
Yes, yes. I'm not a motorcyclist, but when I first moved to Arizona, I was like, man, it's okay, good weather. Man, I might buy a motorcycle.
Mm-hmm.
But I seen how even, with they even aggressive on motorcycles and also and actually vice versa. So I'm like, man, I had one guy I used to work with. And man, he was training for the bus company out here. And he was like, man, dude, he said sometimes, he said one time he stopped at a light, got off his motorcycle, basically took out a ruler and walked up to the car behind him.
Oh my
It's like, hey,
gosh.
dude, you way too close. Then he got back on his bike and refused to move, and to the person went around him. That's like, so this works for motorcycles because I see a lot of people aggressive with motorcycles. It's a love hate situation with these motorcycles and just everyday truck drivers and also people in their regular vehicles. So it's basically implemented for truck drivers, regular cars, especially for people with kids. And I'm definitely trying to bring safety to the industry of the highway system so people can, save lives, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. So you kind of just hit on it, but what's your main goal with Reds?
Um, uh, Save lives. I have, um, grandkids and I help take care sometimes my girlfriend's granddaughter. And just with kids, and of course we've seen videos, and actually I did a class yesterday, and we have to go into the mines out in Arizona to pick up sulfur and everything, and also copper. So, but at the same time, all during the training, safety. I mean, he's showing the horrific pictures of people, dying and blown up, and what they should have did, and people have been on the job for many years. So it's basically, what we need is more safety in the industry. And of course, a lot of people that was at the training wasn't truck drivers, but he kept emphasizing me, hey, when you go here, it's part of the situation. Make sure you. So basically, it's to save lives because right now it's just getting so complacent in our everyday lives. We go here, we go there every day. So at the same time, if it's an accident on a highway, we got to take another route. So some people, the complacency is thrown off, and sometimes they forget how to drive. Like I said today in Arizona, it rained, and one of the, one of the things in Arizona is a bunch of accidents today. I already know it, So it's saying I'm trying to bring awareness, like, hey, you too close, back off. Hey, you gonna get home. Just it might take an extra 5 minutes to 10 minutes, but at least you know that you can get home safe.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so you said earlier that you've been working on this device, for 3.5 years. What has been the biggest challenge so far with putting this device together and kind of getting it to market?
Basically, trying to get in the range, and I had to also re-implement it also because I want to make it waterproof and trying to get it into because one of the guys I was working with at the time, it's like, hey, uh, we got to go up to parts of Arizona. It's called Flagstaff, the north part of Arizona. It snows and rain, and they get a heavy snow. So sometimes when you come out into your vehicle, you got to brush it off and everything. So we're trying to get it to that element to trying to also make it, feasible also for snow and also for rain, not just for Arizona climates, of course.
Yes. Yes. I think that would definitely help to market the product better across the country.
Yes, thank you.
And so the other thing that I wanted to mention was I took a look at the GoFundMe account that you had set up and sent my way. And I think that in there it had mentioned about this device being connected to an app. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yes, the app, we basically want to get it to modern day technology. So basically, because some of these, majority of these devices have wires connected to it, which I'm referring to backup cameras. So it's like, wait a minute, we have to make this like Bluetooth, Wi-Fi friendly. Of course, we have all Bluetooth on our phones, and some cars, modern day cars, have Wi-Fi on board. So basically, that's our goal. So when you get off the freeway, so even though somebody's tailgating you, you get into regular traffic going home to your house, you stop at a light. We don't want this to constantly flash in your face. When you stop, of course, and just swipe it down or swipe it across so it can stop flashing in one's face.
Perfect. That makes sense. Is there anything else that maybe I didn't mention during this interview so far that you'd like to share with your listener or with our listeners about R.E.D.S.?
You mentioned GoFundMe page, so I'm basically still raising funds for it. Of course, majority of the funds I use are my own money, but trying to reach a goal of at least 30,000 and try to get this to market and get it into the hands of people. It's all about saving lives. Is um, especially for kids, for the next generation, and you get home to your family every day. So, like I said, over the years, I have seen aggressive drivers, and I know a lot of truck drivers out there can attest to that. It's like they trying to find a better way, or just like they this is our job. I don't think no one want to go to the job every day and be stressed out. So going to work stressed out, and because every day I got to take a deep breath when I'm on the road, even in my own car, especially trying to transport a product to somebody's business. And one of the most dreaded phone calls or things we want to do is make a phone call to our supervisor or boss, like, "Hey, man, I got into an accident." So, of course, that may a loss of income, a loss might be a loss of someone's life. So basically, try and get this to market to try to eliminate this to a smaller percentage because under the Highway and Safety Association, under administration, it basically said 20% of fatal crashes is because of rear end crashes. So basically, I'm trying to bring this 20% a little less down, not just a little less down, more down, so people can be more safer and be more happier and when it comes to driving.
Great. I mean, that sounds like an amazing reason to kind of get this product to market. So, other than the GoFundMe account, is there any other way that potentially someone can help out with this product, or is that the sole way at this point?
They can reach out to me with my email, Swint, SWINT 629 at yahoo.com. And I can, no problem, send them the link to that, or they can go on, if they have an app or GoFundMe app, they can look up R.E.D.S.S, R.E.D.S.S campaign, and they can look it up and go there and attach their funds, or they can go to my Facebook page, Anthony Swint, and you will see the link there also for the GoFundMe page on Facebook.
Great. That sounds wonderful. I will definitely be sure to include all of that information in the show notes so that anyone that wants to reach out to you can do so. And before we wrap up, is there anything else that you wanted to share with us today?
Be safe, and we all going through a stressful situation with COVID or whatever. Hey, it's let's not be stressed out about it. It's believe me, sometimes we stress over little things, and it can be more bigger than what it is. So we just take our times and send people a little thumbs up, a prayer. Life is interesting. I wouldn't say it's difficult, but just just be more cautious on the road and send love.
Absolutely. I think we can all agree to that. Thank you so much, Anthony, for coming on the show today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
And a big thanks again to Anthony for coming on the podcast today to talk to us all about R.E.D.S. If you're interested in learning more about R.E.D.S or getting in touch with Anthony, I've provided all of his contact information in the show notes. If you know of a truck driver that should be on this show, let me know. I want to get more trucker voices on this show. A lot of the times I'm interviewing trucking industry experts or trucking professionals, but not truckers themselves. And having interviewed back-to-back truckers for back-to-back episodes has been an absolute blast. Let me tell you. The conversations that I've had with each of these truck drivers has been so much fun. Whether we're talking about the weather or we're talking about where they grew up or how long they've been in the industry or they're getting cut off by a four-wheeler on the road, which definitely happens because 9 times out of 10, they're interviewing with me while they're trucking. So if you know someone that should be on this podcast or you yourself should be on this podcast, reach out. What's the worst that happens? Until next time, keep on trucking.
Thanks for tuning in to another edition of Big Rig Banter. For your next job, check out alltruckjobs.com, the premier online source for finding the best driver jobs in the country. Browse hundreds of positions by freight or driver type to get back on the road with confidence. Click subscribe to keep the conversations coming. Until next time on Big Rig Banter.